Welcome to another episode of the APL Spotlight Series. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences to share with all of us. Coming to us today from Arizona, SUNNY Dawn Johnston, incredible spiritual teacher, 20 plus books, just author, prolific, been on stage a lot with lots of other folks and also solo headlines, events as a speaker and more. She's been doing this a super long time. We got her origin story, and you'll catch that later this year on the main show, Angels, Positivity, and Love. I just love her vibe and I love what she does for folks. So, Sunny, great to see you again. Great to have you back on. How's life?
Thank you. It's great to be here. Life is great. It's hot and sticky in Arizona in August, and it's awesome. It's great life. I just got done with a 25 person retreat at my healing center, which was super fun. So I'm a little in the high vibe, like so cool. Love being with people.
And talk to us just a little bit about kindness, joy, compassion. How simple is it to pump the brakes and get to here and get into the present moment?
Oh man. I will say that now it's so much more simple than it used to be. It used to be a very long journey between here and here. Now, usually it's a breath. It's usually a breath and just pulling myself into presence. I think that we can all access that, but we're so busy in our heads, and there's so much distraction now, really, that we have to be really conscious and intentional. And breath works really well for me, and it's something we can always count on.
Hopefully.
Well, when
Uh,
when we can't count on it, we don't need it anymore.
exactly. Okay, before we start talking bigger picture stuff, angels, the universe, and all the rest, when people come up to you needing assistance, whether it's in a retreat or a seminar or workshop and so on, how are you picking up on them? Now, you don't have to share much if you don't want to, but are you seeing auras on them? Are you just hearing the way the question's phrased and you're picking up on the energetic vibe? Is it sort of all the above, or how do you like to phrase it for calibrating where the person's coming from?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that it changes with every single person and the frequency and energy they're in. So I usually, most of the time, my nature is to feel. So I will feel that sense of what they're needing, what they're struggling with. I'll either feel it in my body, like a physical issue, or I'll feel it in my energy and emotions. But what's happened over the years, because as we grow and as we evolve, as we access our tools and we use them more often, is that with each person, I usually meet them wherever their strongest connection is. So if they're more visual, I may see what's going on. If they're more knowing, then I may just have this knowing and move towards them, or the feeling, or the hearing. And most of the time, my intention is really to remind them, to be the mirror. I'm not a lot of people use the term healer. I don't use the term healer. I don't heal people. I help hold that space for them to heal themselves. And and we're all healers because we all have that ability, right? So it depends. So that's a great question because it's never the same. For me, it's never the same.
And I'll be the devil's advocate, not that we'll phrase it that way. I'll do the contrarian view.
Yes.
I'll do three definitions of a healer, and then we'll leave silence as we look at you
Yeah.
the whole way. So, a healer is simply someone who helps a person confront opposing forces within him or herself to promote health. A
Hmm.
true healer kindles the power already within another. I think we're two for two for you.
Yeah.
And then, how about this one? A healer is someone who's able to raise their frequency to connect to the source light energy while keeping themselves clear and fully connected. They use this elevated frequency to help others directly or indirectly. I
Mhm.
think we checked three boxes in a row. Tic tac toe. Would you acknowledge we'll get you the first on the show, at least in 2025, admitting secretly you might be a little bit of a healer?
I will say that from all of those definitions, yes. I
Okay.
think that what I am aware of is that oftentimes from the frequency that we're talking right now, we can recognize that and have that be true. I think in humanity in general, people look for somebody else to heal them. And so so I think that's a great reminder for all of us and a teaching, right? Like, okay, the healing energy is just being activated in somebody and they're the healers themselves. And also that we are activating that for them. So we're working together. but I think that the common mm, understanding or the way that most people look at healers is what I always want to reframe, right? I'm always looking to reframe because I don't ever want people to um, feel like they need me, become dependent on me or anybody else, right? So I appreciate that, and that's a great awareness for all of us and a good reminder. And absolutely, I can own that 100%. Take it.
Okay, let's go on a little bit of a tangent. You're high vibe. And
How
I mean,
about
obviously, things fluctuate. We all go through stuff during the day, during the week, this, that, family stuff, whatever. You're out and about, you're high vibe. If you're in a line at Starbucks, does somebody once in a while come up to you? Have you noticed a little phenomena? If the store's empty, you walk in, you're high vibe, you're bebopping along, the place fills up right after you get in there. Can you give us one of those examples where a total stranger data dumps on you? Just they feel subconsciously your light and they know they need to kind of offload. You've had those experiences, and they're sort of like you can't really put your thumb on it, but you can. You're very good with words. Can you
it?
give us a few of those and then put greater context to it?
Oh goodness, this happens often. It's happened to me my entire, I mean, even since I was little, young child. The people would just come in and dump their story, their pain, their struggle, their emotion, their trauma, whatever it was. So this is an area that I have had a lot of practice in because, quite honestly, for many years, I didn't know how to hold my own energy like you just described in that healer definition, right? I didn't know how to hold that. I would just take it on and absorb it and feel it in my heart, feel it in my energy, feel it in my bones, feel it in my body, and then think it was mine to fix,
Hmm.
right? So over the last 30 years, I've learned that's not the best way to do it. And it takes a lot of intention. So what'll happen is, okay, Starbucks, and somebody will be standing next to me, and I smile at everybody because that's just kind of who I am, and that's the opening right there. And they're like, "Oh, how are you? How are you today?" or whatever. And they're like, "Oh," and then I'm like, "Oh, here we go." But here's the thing that I've really learned that has helped me so much, and probably one of the things that's most important in my heart to teach is that I don't wait until that circumstance where somebody starts to bring that energy or that low frequency or their pain and that has realness in their life, of course. I don't wait until that moment to ask for help and to be aware of the frequency around me. I have a every morning spiritual practice that I invite specifically the angels and very specifically Archangel Michael to help me to hold my energy and frequency so that any energy that comes to me, around me, surrounds me, that I can hold my own vibration. And when I do that, then I can be in that line at Starbucks and I can just observe their struggle, observe their pain, observe their sadness or their fear, and hold the space for them. But the way I learned to do that was because I had many experiences where I didn't do that, and then what I learned is now it's your pain. Right now it's yours to own. Now it's yours to clear. Now it's yours to release. And so that has been very helpful for me. So when situations like that happen, which they happen if I leave the house, because I don't leave a lot, but if I leave the house, they happen weekly. And I can just honor their space and be the witness. And I will also say that one of the things that I love about being in that space is also people find that when they can have somebody that can just meet them where they are, there isn't the judgment, there isn't the wrongness, there isn't the shame, things like that. It really helps them to transmute that energy. And this is part of my work. Like my work doesn't end when I walk out of the office, right? My energy and my being, I know that I'm available to help serve 24 hours a day in whatever environment and circumstance or situation I'm in because that's just who I am and kind of how I was built. So, So those scenarios happen a lot. And the other scenario that happens often is not necessarily that somebody comes up to me and starts talking or brings that energy, but that spirit brings a message to me to give to somebody in that environment. And that's a different scenario. And one that can be challenging because, as you probably know, not everybody's into this stuff. So that happens often enough also. And I have learned to, in the beginning, I just wouldn't say anything. I would just ignore it and be like, I'm not going up to that person. I'm not saying anything. And I had this kind of moral, like, should I? Should I not? Do you do this? Do you like intervene and break their free will? Like what is it? But what I've learned, what works for me, and I don't know if you have this experience or not, but is I just usually open the door and I say, hey, you know what? This is what I do. I'm a psychic medium. I don't know if you know what that is. Now more people know what it is. 30 years ago when this happened, people were like, have no clue. And I get messages sometimes just at random places and times, and I have a message for you if you'd like to receive it. And it gives people the opportunity to say yes or no. And if they are, then I just share the message that came through. And inevitably, if that happens, then there's usually tears and a release and an acknowledgement. And if they don't, then I feel like I've done my part. I opened the door and they didn't answer, and that's okay.
Hmm. That's beautiful. One more aspect of all this. You're at a traffic light. And do you ever notice that there are certain other vehicles, a truck, a motorcycle, somebody decides to rev it up, or you're driving along and they decide to go like twice the speed limit, or just 5 miles over, or act up in some way? You could be just on a walk and it could be the same thing,
Mhm.
just an extra revving. Do you have that happen as well?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, that happens.
How would you kindly and gently like to describe that reaction?
Um, Gosh, you have great questions. I just love them. Um, I think that my reaction is based on where I am in the moment in my own life.
Hmm.
So if I'm in a feisty place, if I'm having some challenges or I'm working through something or something like that, that energy might activate me. It might pull some of that energy out, right? Like almost as a release.
Hmm.
But there would be other times where it would be more of a, huh, I wonder what energy they're needing. Like, interesting. And then I think there's other times where I might be so in my own space that I don't even notice what's happening around me. So I really think that my response is different based on my level of presence, because I'd love to say I'm 100% present all the time. That's not true. And also my level of my energy and my frequency on any given day. Like I can think of a situation that just happened a week ago or so where that actual thing happened, and we were for a walk and it was super hot, 104 degrees outside. I'm like, why the hell am I walking? But I've got to get my moves in. You got to move your body, and somebody did that, revved up, and then like did a spin out. And I'm like, okay, what attention are they needing right now? That's exactly where I went. And so I just sent some love to him, like, okay, I hope that you're safe and you don't create a problem for you or somebody else, right? So I think it really depends. I've never really paid attention, but as I look back, I think that's the best answer I have for you.
I love it. I'm going to back us up to the same original concept of running into folks around town, but with a different kind of nitty-gritty question that will be fun for the audience. And you don't have to get into it if you don't want. But if you have someone come up, it's a grandmother, and she's not necessarily data dumping. She's just interacting with you. Do once in a while you get sparkles all over them, or glitter, or you see an angel, or a little ball of light, or something, or an aura. I know you're seeing auras quite often, but can we talk that way and give us a few examples? You were at Baskin Robbins, you were at the resort, you were at this, that, this happened, that happened. And it's more light, the visual, and hopefully love and above and just fun.
Sure. Yeah, those happen a lot in environments where um, it is. um, I think I'm more aware visually when I'm in a more relaxed state. So, because then I'm more present in actually what I'm seeing. My feeling, like my little feeling mode, that's on all the time, right? But the visual part of me, so like I've been at, a water. Actually, this happened about a month ago. I was at a water park with my grandkids, and so we're outside, and there was two women. One had a little baby, and one had like a 2-year-old, and they just it was like firecrackers, like sparklers. That energy kind of just going off them. And they were chit-chatting and just right. And it was just this kind of sparkly energy. And my grandson came up and he was crying because he just got dumped on by the water. And so then it pulled me out, right? Like I was observing it and then it just pulled me out, which is what happens, right? So I've had a lot of different things like that. Auras, I see a lot, especially when I'm teaching. When I'm in a big group of people, if I'm on stage, I can see, if we've got 200 people in a room, and I don't see everybody's, but there'll be different ones that kind of pop out and get highlighted. And usually those are people that I know I'm going to have a connection with afterwards, on whatever level. I used to have this happen, and it wasn't with people, but it was with like messages and things. Like if I was, let's say I was reading a magazine, and or when I was reading back in the day when you had read newspapers, uh, there would just be the like, let's say you have a whole page of things. This article would just vibrate out, like it would lift up off the paper almost like 3D. Right. So what I found is that when those things happen, the people, the lights, the auras, things like that, it's always significant to a reminder or a message for me, right? So it could be, okay, these people are really in a beautiful, playful place. Bring in that play. It could be, hey, this message literally is for you, or these people need a connection to you. So I usually look at it like that, but sometimes it's fun to just watch the light show. And that's kind of what it is. It's like a light show. And when you start to see auras, I started seeing auras when I was about 10. I didn't know what they were. And the only time that I saw them when I first started seeing them was I only saw them around school teachers. All my teachers had auras. And what I realized, it took me a little bit of time, what I realized is that when the teacher was in front of the class, at that time we had green chalkboards. And so my eyes would be so kind of off focus that I could see not only the kind of the gray matter right around their body, but then it would start putting out colors, and I would rub my eyes like I went to the eye doctor. Like I thought, for real, I had like, okay, there's something, but I only saw it with teachers, but I just didn't realize that. And then I started thinking, wait, this is like this is like something else. So then I would start to focus on it with kids when they'd go up and write the things on the board or whatever. And then I could see it there. And then I was like, well, why can't I see it when somebody's standing outside, but I can see it when they're up on the board? But I realized it's because then I had that ability to kind of be focused but relaxed. And it gave me the opportunity to actually start training myself to then see them in other ways. And then sometimes the aura would bring color in. Sometimes it would just be that little bit gray matter. Sometimes light energy. Then, of course, orbs started, then the whole thing, then it just took off. But before I even started seeing angels, I was seeing auras.
Awesome. And I've shared this on a couple other shows out of like three or 400 here on the channel, but I'm gonna try to make this 30 seconds or less. I've been a runner a long time. I was running the Boston Marathon for a second time or something. It was around 2010. I had a cold or the flu or something. I knew I was only going to finish half. And so if I didn't feel great, I was going to stop at the halfway point. I did, and I was running a great pace. Most runners beat themselves up if you drop out or you're off by 5 seconds. And I was happy. So I got on a JetBlue flight to come back to Austin, Texas at the time. And I saw auras for the first time on like every other person. Go figure why it's every other. And then when I got off the plane, that 30,000 feet pressure in the ears like didn't really go away. But it wasn't from the airplane. It was just it would come and go, but mostly come. And so of course you go to see an ENT, and this ENT shares the most incredible like Notebook, the movie level story, which that's what I've told in other shows. And so wonderful gentleman, like stayed in touch, love this guy, great doctor. I get back in the car and like my hearing test's great. I'm like a wolf. The second I get back in the car and put the keys back in, the pressure came back. And
Mhm.
so I was going to offer to be your guinea pig. Is that okay?
Sure.
I'll just be the guinea pig, but I'm going to do two things for the audience. One, you have no limits. So just by listening to her vibe, you're gonna pick up the ability to let go a little extra. Just trust more in the moment. And also, if you need to, close your eyes and ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart and see with all of you, whatever you want to call it, see with your heart. And you can do Sunny's aura while
Ooh.
she's seeing my aura, if that made sense. And then if you don't mind, put an emoji down. You don't have to admit that you did it. Just put rainbow emojis. Five, and you're being super cool. Four, you're being pretty cool. Three, non-judgmental. Two is great. And one, you did it. You put an emoji down. That counts as a comment. Okay, I'm going to be your guinea pig. I'm going to sit still. I'm going to think happy bodyboarding vibes from Florida or somewhere. No sharks. Um, and uh, what are you getting or seeing, if you don't mind allowing? And we're putting you on the spot, but I don't think you're on the spot at all.
So what I see is so much yellow all around the edges, beautiful, bright, like sunshiny yellow. There's pink underneath it, so there's some love and some passion and some excitement along with it. And then I just got rays of purple, and that purple feels like that connectedness to me, like the connection to not just spirit, but like to your joy. This connection of purple shots kind of going out. So the yellow is the big, pink underlying purple shots.
I love it. Okay, what topic did you yesterday or today or just before you got on or during the show, what popped up that you're like, oh, I'd love to cover this?
Ooh.
And I can assist. I'll put up three angel photos. It'll be Archangel Michael, Joy, and a Charlotte. And they'll pop something right in a heartbeat or two topics.
Uh, do we want to keep them light or do we want to go deep?
Let's go light, then let's go deep.
Okay. So Michael, Archangel Michael, I think he was the first archangel I ever started connecting with. And his presence, when I just saw his image, one of the things that I want to connect to the beginning of the show was the learning how to manage our energy, how to hold our own frequency, how to hold our own vibration. Uh, that working with him on a consistent basis, I have found has been probably the single most important uh, way for me to stay healthy and physically healthy because when we take on other people's energy and emotion, it affects our physical body, our human body. And so a lot of times, people talk about, okay, yes, I want to work with Michael. I want to work with Michael. Okay, that's the light part. Yes, you do want to work with Michael, and it's really, really important, I think. And we need to do that in a consistent, committed way because what I've learned is that when we just do it once we feel the struggle or the pain or the suffering or the whatever it is from somebody else, then it's ours. And so it becomes a practice because we absorb it. It's like when you think about like a friend comes to you and they tell you a sad story. And so you're like, oh my God, that's terrible. And then they're like, well, thanks you for talking to me. I feel so much better. And you're like, I feel like shit, right? So then you call up your friend and you're like, oh my gosh, do you know what's going on with Sally? Like Sally's in such a bad place. And your friend's like, oh my God, that's terrible. And you're like, yeah, I know. But I'm so glad you talked to me. I feel so much better. And it just keeps going on. It's like the Prel commercial. They tell two friends and they tell two friends. And the issue that was in this one person just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because we're looking for a place to release it, kind of like the Starbucks story. So that's the important piece is that when we have a consistent practice with the angelic realm, and for me, Archangel Michael is the most important in this piece, then it helps us to be able to be the observer throughout our day, no matter what comes. Whether I go to Starbucks or I stay home or I take a phone call or I watch the news or I get on social media and I see something really disturbing, I can hold my energy. And that to me, this is the light and the deep, is that Yes, it's really fun to connect with angels and that high vibe energy. And it's really important on a human level, more important than I think we give it credit for, because sometimes people can think, oh, it's just kind of airy fairy woo woo kind of thing. No, this is actually committed, consistent life force energy and necessity.
You've given me the next, it's not a tangent, it's putting into practice what we just talked about, both light and deep. So I'll say light and deep
Yep.
with these two. But do you mind just sitting for 30 seconds, eyes open, eyes closed? You can go, and I always call it kumbaya. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody using their hands. I do it, everyone does it. But you have a million ways you could use your hands. Like at a concert, you could do it this way, this way. You might do it off camera, but can you go full stop in your big heart and share your vibe right now with everyone, whether you're using words or not, whatever is the most spontaneous way for 30 seconds? And at home, if people want to put their hands up, they're treating you like a fireplace in the sense they might feel your vibration. This is only love and above, and we're asking Archangel Michael to simply be a beautiful filter. So only compassion, kindness, gentleness, and love is transacted, and 1 + 1 = 111. Or at 1111, because that plus sign, we're going to break it apart and make it into two more ones.
Hmm. Presence, breath, clarity, heart.
Beautiful. I'm going to say beautiful a lot today. I'm going to put up those same two photos plus four archangels this way. Michael's in there as well. So redundancy, but that's okay. And I'm going to throw out one scenario where overnight mankind could shift. And then I'm going to challenge you with the help of angels and your own creativity to suggest a couple other ways it's going to happen or that it's already here. And what I'm talking about is that whole mankind can suddenly grow and it's already happening. And I think an angel said 10 years ago named Dale said, I was being pesky. I don't usually ask the big picture questions. Not who killed Kenny, but if angels are here in human form, did they drink the coffee? The answer is yes. So I asked a big one there. But the question was, how fast could humanity get jiggy with it if they really wanted to pay attention, grow, and learn, and just full stop? And
Mhm.
the answer was 3 hours. But I
Mhm.
mean, that's respecting free will, and everyone would have to want to go kumbaya. Now, I'm going to put these guys up, or angels up, and I'm going to suggest one other way and then, with your permission, I'll sneak Michael up in a second. But you're already fully connected. I'm going to ask how the other ways could be that this could unfold besides the natural, just over time and everything else. So, if everyone woke up and started seeing auras on everything, not all the time, they could shut it off if they said open Simpson or stop.
Mhm.
But that would shift a lot of stuff because if you started to gossip or complain or someone's data dumping and you saw their aura and the light either went away or turned darker or whatever happens, when it's less fun,
Mhm.
um, that would shift how we spend our energy, how we put our focus. We'd be like, ooh, I don't want to do that. And
Mhm.
so that would immediately change energy transactions or human to human interactions and promote even more soul to soul level contact. Now, you've got the fun, super detective opportunity to suggest how else could it unfold, or it's already unfolding beautifully. But how do you see this? How could you talk about this more? And I know you've had to spend some time on this.
Yeah, what comes to me is if we all saw our energy leaks. If we saw a lot of people use the term quartz, and I look at it as kind of energy leaks. So if we saw how much we lose our energy and our light to the thoughts we think, to the words we speak, to the actions we take, to the worries that we have, to the fears that we have, and if we saw that beautiful absolute light that we carry, and then all the places that it's just going out, and we learned how to pull that in, then I believe that we would know our power. If we knew our power and we saw our power, then I think humanity could shift very quickly. I think that this is part of the issue is we don't recognize how powerful we are. and how it's literally at so much of this is literally within us at our fingertips, but we give it away unconsciously. Most of the time, a lot of it is just because of the way we were trained. We didn't know. Nobody taught us. And if we started to pull that in and use that in a direction that felt good, joy, like joy is the highest expression of love there is. It's the greatest expansion. And we pulled that energy in and we focused on that. Then I could get with the 3 hours. But yes, we have free will and but I really think really when we get down to it, people really do want to feel better. They may all go at it in different ways, but I do think people innately want to feel better in their lives, whether they think that through money, they think that through health, they think that through friends, they think that through sex, they think that through work. I don't care what it is. I think people want to feel better. And so if we knew, oh, we're losing all this energy, we pulled that in, we'd feel better, we'd have more power, that could change the world.
That's literally brilliant. Literally.
Mhm.
Okay. Talk to us about compassion. There's only a trillion definitions of compassion, but what is compassion right now for you this week in August?
Compassion for me this week in August is being tender and gentle with yourself.
And you've come a long way, baby, in terms of like that Virginia Slims logo. If people remember those, I think they're cigarettes and
Oh,
this
they
80s
are.
campaign. I don't know if they still exist, but that was their primary campaign slogan. You've had a long journey and you have, I think you talked about the self-examination on the first time you recorded, but can you just recap briefly how far it's brought you? It doesn't mean that you don't have tons of distances to still travel, but talk to us about how that has brought you more comfort these days.
Sure. Yeah. I think I've been on this journey consciously, like been aware of my spiritual growth and expansion and learning and all that for 41 years this year. And sometimes,
Since you were two.
so yeah, yeah, right. And so I think sometimes I look back, like I just did this retreat at my healing center here in Arizona this weekend, and we had 25 people there, and about 10 of them have been in my community for over 20 years. So they have literally seen, we were talking about this, they've literally seen the evolution of not just, my teachings and things like that, but me, like the younger girl, the insecure, the not sure, but gonna do it anyway, right? Like, so I was thinking about this weekend when you asked that question, what came to me is um the support that I have had to learn to allow um for myself, and when I say support I mean spiritual support, I mean human support, I mean financial support, like all of those things. I was not a good allower. I did not receive well, and because of my discomfort in receiving, I really tried to control a lot of things, which is why I couldn't allow. And so when I think about, these decades that have gone by, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, where'd they all go? Like, what? This is 40 years. How does that happen, right? I see that young girl that didn't have that knew something really big inside but didn't know what it was and didn't know how it was ever going to be expressed outward because it sure did not fit the environment that she was in. And then I see the woman that I am now that decided, well, yeah, there isn't an environment. I'm just going to create one. And the bridge between that has really been in being willing to receive love and support and acknowledgement, and to be gentle with myself. And after coming off of a retreat weekend where people have had so much shift and awareness and healing within their own lives during that time, and hearing all that feedback, the thing that I really sit with right now is I have had lots of ups and downs and a lot of challenges in my life. And I'm just grateful for every single one of them because they brought me to a place where I know that each area that I had those struggles, I have been very vulnerable and open and shared and been willing um, um, to give and to receive. And it's come back in ways that the greatest gift that I ever receive is when people feel that connection or that healing or that knowing of themselves. And I had so much of that this weekend, which I always get when we get to be in person experiences, that it really makes it all so much more valuable. Like, and I still go, shit, I got a long way to go. Because, like you said, not to say that you're not going to have more of it. You are. And, when I was about 30, I thought, I've gone through so much. Like, I'm sure, like, when you get like 40, when you get old, then it's going to be like, I'm going to have it all figured out. And guess what? That didn't happen. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're still learning all the time. And that's the exciting, to me, that's the exciting part. We are still learning all the time. And then we get to receive in greater ways. And I feel very blessed in the journey that I'm on, not in spite of all of the things that have happened and the challenges, but because of them.
We're going to tap your listening, receiving, and then motivational speaking side. I'm going to put up just a few angel photos, but we'll start with Archangel Michael. And if you don't mind, just boomeranging. What are you getting from him for all of us? If you want to shout loud, it's okay. At least get a big hug.
Trust yourself, stay focused on the vision.
And a reminder to the audience, you can hit pause or you can play it back and you can put your hands out. You can feel Archangel Michael. You don't need a photo. Put your hands out, close your eyes, do the hokey pokey, do the chubby checker, Elvis, do those hips, whatever would make you laugh if you got out of your chair right now. Apartment, don't do it while you're driving, or on a walk or on the park bench or anything else. Just find a way to get out of what you know briefly. It'll all come back and get a big hug or even get an answer or ask what else to add on to what she just said. Here's Joy. What's Joy got for you for all of us?
Playtime. Get out and play. And I actually see a playground when I see that, like literally get out and get into play. So good.
And then Charlotte, third grade teacher, if you remember a really cool one, not the one who got you in trouble. Here's Charlotte.
This one is about being open to learning new things, being open to learning new ways of connecting and new ways of even taking care of yourself. Like this is about like literally like education.
And you're on a roll. I'll put up four archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. It's not important who's who. What are you getting collectively from the quartet?
It is time to communicate your truth clearly.
Special guest star appearance, Mother Teresa.
Ooh,
And she's very twinkly and has a great sense of humor.
abundance is your birthright.
Ooh, bumper sticker level. I like that. We'll do one more, but why don't I do this? Just say stop or hold on. Let me get like, you can choose visually. You can pick the prettiest or the most fun or whichever speaks to you or wiggles or jumps or moves because photos can move. I have an angel named Mac. Don't call her Mackenzie. Everything plants, animals, nature. Dale, who coached an Olympic athlete who won a lot of golds. My guardian angel, a lot of guardian angels, Min. And then a fairy named Ginger or Heather. She makes
I
hearts in her
got
photos.
ginger.
Ginger. Okay.
Ginger.
Here's Ginger the fairy. What are
Yeah.
you getting from her?
This is about being in a lighthearted energy and not taking yourself and others and life so seriously.
Huge. Okay. Talk to us about what you can share out loud for recharging, having more fun daily. How do you make sure you get a good dose of life and joy each day?
So I think fun is an absolute necessity. Play is an absolute need in our world, and I think we have not enough of it. So generally by the end of the day, that's a question I ask myself. What did I do that was fun today? Did I laugh enough? Something that brings that in. And if I didn't, I'm going to take some action that brings that in. And it could be as simple as just like to me, like listening to babies laugh makes me just laugh. Like it just brings that play energy. Listening to a short from a comedian, something that is just going to bring that lighthearted play in. I think a lot of times people that don't have others, well, I guess it depends. A lot of times people that don't live with other people have a hard time kind of activating this for themselves. And then I guess sometimes when you live with people, you have a hard time activating it for yourself too. It could be both ways. But I think that when we bring that lighthearted play in, it changes your experience and your frequency on a vibrational level that helps you to then be call in more of it. So then it's just an activator that continues to bring more and more of it to us. And I think it's our nature. We're meant to be this way.
And I'll say beautiful for the 15th time. I'm going to bring in one last angel for today. Photograph of Audrey Hepburn angel. It may move for folks. I think we did this before the show. But let her come in, but we're going to go beyond words. Get something wonderful from her. It could be just 5 hugs in a row, perfume smell from Paris, something fun that's for you, back to that point of recharging and allowing the universe to step in and light your heart up. And then if you want to share it, that'd be awesome, but you don't have to. Here's Audrey, and anybody who loves her, you could have her, the 80-year-old Audrey, come through if you want to close your eyes, or the younger Audrey. But could you just say got it or grunt or yeah, that she's coming through loud and clear?
Oh yeah, got her.
Oh, beautiful. And then get a lot of whooshing and love from her if your eyes are open here. I'll do this. And get a big, lots of light love. And then, Sunny, what do you want to share about that?
I heard several things, so I'm just going to share them as they come to me. Your beauty is within. Your presence is your power,
Hmm.
and your confidence is your strength. Those were the three messages I got as you were showing that picture. The first one I got actually when you showed it to me the first time before. The other two came up in her frequency.
Beautiful. We'll start to wrap up in just a little bit, but I've got a quote, and it's one of those Native American quotes. I think it's from Carl Hammerschlag out of Arizona when he was alive, from his Dancing Healers book. Um, he was a doctor originally out of Yale and then turned psychologist later. And everything that he learned from that medicine man who took him under his wing and more, he would share with others. I think he was a pretty big pal with Patch Adams, and so really believed in humor too.
Mhm.
But I think this is his quote. In American society, we think something is happening when there's talking. In Native American tribes, something is happening when there's silence. Or we could
Mhm.
say stillness too. Um,
Mhm.
and so with that, maybe we can do something that's beyond words. It'll be a final interactive act, and then we'll start to wrap up, but we're going to get you talking again in just a second. I'll do what we did on the other show that comes out. I can't remember if it's October, November. I think it's November of 2025. That's when people will get to see you next, and hopefully we'll have you on in 2026. I'll show my light here, but if you don't mind allowing light to start showing up all around you in a festival way. I've lost my English. I'm just going to put my fingers up like out of Celestine Prophecy. In India, they do it this way, and it was going on way before the movie got made. Sue Frederick, who I think you've met and know, mentioned, hey, we were doing that in the 70s before the movie was even made. The point is, once you say a couple colors, I'll go bigger. But if you don't mind allowing it to cascade everywhere, however far you want to let it go, it's just going to be joy and light and lots of angels. People can do this at home, but it's whatever you'll allow for more of is what you'll bring in. And we're only talking love and above and some fun here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And I'll tell one dad joke. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the ICU. Okay. Here's the little bit of light. And what are you getting?
Green, orange,
And now what are you getting?
green, orange, blue.
Yay. And if you don't mind throwing finger paint everywhere, close your eyes for 2 seconds, ask your own crew to turn it up or your own heart, however you want to view this. Light it up. What else are you getting around you when you do open your eyes again? I'm not looking at you at all as if you have total privacy, even though there's no audience, millions of views by 2030. And breathe, breathe, breathe at home. If anybody needs help, put a hand on the heart, do something, put a hand out. Have an angel hold your hand. No limits is no limits. Good luck
This
with that.
energy is like fireworks to me. That's how it moves right through, is seeing it as fireworks. Mhm.
Talk to us about the future and give us anything you want about the future. This is kind of a hard question. So slice and dice it any way you want, and I will try to find one angel or two here. Four archangels and Charlotte. And you're already getting your crew. Oh, no, Heather. I grabbed Heather. She makes hearts. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. But there's a slant on this that I don't understand. Something about the future. Could be for mankind, what you're looking forward to.
The future is something that so many people get lost in and they get afraid of. And I think the reason that is because it's the unknown. And my message for all of us is that the unknown is where every potential possibility exists, not just fear. Every good possibility that will ever happen in your life also exists in the unknown, which is the future. And so when we get into the energy of the fear of the future, that's where we live. But the potential is there for everything. Those experiences you want, that traveling that you want to do, that love that you want to experience, the joy, the happiness, the fun, the peace, all of that lives there too. Choose wisely.
One heavy question or one final big picture question. There are a lot of communities out there, spiritual, UAP, UFO, what's it called, disclosure. I'm probably skipping dozens of others. Even the scientific community is trying to figure things out in the universe. What's a reminder for everyone out there that while keep doing what you're doing, spend your energy how you will, it's free will, very important. How would you like to remind people that it's kind of still right here, right now, right in front of you, and it's simpler than you think it is because it ain't about more thinking? What's the patented Sunny Dawn Johnston reminder here?
I think that what you want to remember is you need to practice discernment. The things that are happening now around us with the changes and the addition of AI and all of the things that are happening, there's going to be a major shift, I think, for humanity in learning what is real and what is true or not true. And that can't come from something outside of you. It has to be something inside of you. So practicing and developing your own discernment is going to be a key to the to releasing the fear, to being in the joy and trusting the journey and having a great time. And I understand why people get nervous. That's only when you're not trusting your abilities. So when you trust your ability for discernment, and you know that you have that ability, which you can, if you're not aware, you can learn, then we can just, ride the wave.
And I'm going to get you talking one last time on one front here, which is cultivating what you just said, cultivating that inner fearless, peaceful warrior you. And remember, Dan Millman's got a great book out there, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. The movie's fun with Nick Nolte. Can you talk to us about a daily, practical, weekly something on how to go full stop? And then we're going to get you to do what you did so well last time. A mantra that's fresh, repeated 3 times, so you can actually share the vibe. And it can be short and sweet. But first, what's something verbally you want to share or as a reminder for pumping the brakes?
I think that the reminder is that, I guess it is to trust yourself and question things that are being forced in front of you. Trust yourself. That there's a lot of noise, and we want to be able to tune and move through that noise, break through that noise, and really listen to what's happening here. Your body, your spirit knows. Trust that. Get rid of the noise. Um, and so then the mantra.
And I'm going to put up Joy and Michael one more time, only because it can never hurt to have a cue card visual or extra reinforcement. Again, folks at home, you can close your eyes, get pink light on your eyelids or white, or Michael can come in blue. It's just up to you and them. Okay, what have you got? But you've got to repeat it 3 times, and this is more vibe than it is the words.
You are the light you are waiting for. You are the light you are waiting for. You are the light you are waiting for.
Sunny Dawn Johnston. That sounds like book number. Well, we'll add it into the queue. 27. That's a good title or headline. Great to have you on. Thank you for coming back, and
Thank you, my
look
friend.
forward to having you back again.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.